Hey everybody, welcome back. HSC Podcast Movies. We got Big Box Steve on the mic, Big Smooth. We're back for our movie segment. If you just joined us from sports or you haven't seen HSC Podcast Sports, check it out. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment box if you'd like us to do specific movies that we review. If you haven't been following up to this point, typically we do a movie of the week. But right now we're on a really cool, I'm actually really enjoying this 1980 by year. And we're breaking down like what movies came out each year. And we're on 1982. Um, and it's starting to get pretty good again, right? I mean, 81, 80, there's a lot of good stuff, right? But we started with what was it, 84?
Yeah.
And because it was so good. And then so we have to see how it compares. Where 82, you're starting to get some good stuff here. So looking at that year, I mean, let's just throw out there, number one movie according to most people is going to be E.T., right?
Yep.
Maybe not the highest rated, but it's just so well known. And E.T. it was such a good movie when you're a kid. And I didn't even watch it probably as much as a lot of other people, but I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, Grayson's watched it already. Um, but yeah, I was like, as a kid, because that's the thing. A lot of these 80s movies for us as kids of the 80s, you had tons of movies like this, where it's about a kid who finds an alien, right? And the government is trying to get it. And he hides the alien from the government. So,
Something here, 1982. They're like, hey, kids finding aliens. But you're right. The movie though, it's it really relates to kids and their imagination and but then the friendship part of it too. I guess that's the other thing that when you look at these types of 80s movies is very, very feel good in a sense. So, I mean, E.T. was one of those that when you're first looking at movies from 82, it's one of those that I would say you got to call that out specifically. But as you go, I mean, you got Rambo, you got First Blood on there.
you got Rocky 3.
So we got a lot of Stallone, which Rocky 3 is not the best of the Rockies.
Yeah, but it's pretty good.
Oh, it's not bad.
I
It's
mean, you got Clubber Lang, Mickey dies,
Come on, Mr. T.
Apollo has to train Rocky. Eye of the Tiger.
Right. They had the good music. 48
And
Hours, super
yes,
underrated. Nick Nolte and
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Yeah, what a good combo.
Um, Airplane 2.
Airplane 2. I mean, Airplane 1's great. I don't know if I'll throw Airplane 2 in the great.
Right. Well, here, talk about great number twos. Wrath of Khan, Star
Oh,
Trek.
man. I mean, probably for us, I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, that would be a better movie than E.T.
Yeah, except for the ear. They traumatized me as a kid, that one part.
Oh, the ears thing, yeah, the
Yeah.
stuff, yeah. Oh man, that's tough to watch when you're I don't care what age you are.
That was the thing is I think when I was young, Wrath of Khan, I was like, nah, let me watch whatever four is. What's that one? Where they go to San Francisco, the time traveling one.
Um,
Because Voyage Home is five.
I thought four's the
Because it goes Rathacon, Search for Spock, and then the fourth one is where they time travel because of the orcas, the whales, and
No, what's it called though? Like, I don't know.
the
Uh,
voyage home. It is the voyage home.
Voyage Home. There you go.
Okay. But
So,
then when you get
okay,
older, Rathacon's the best.
right. There is a comparatively in that age group matters. But you could watch Poltergeist.
I'm glad I didn't want to bring that one up. That's
If you didn't watch Wrath of Khan, hey, you can always watch Poltergeist, which I also watched as a child.
um back to like traumatizing you as a child. You had The Dark Crystal, Secret of Nim, and The Last Unicorn.
Oh
All
yeah,
traumatizing you as a child with those cartoon movies.
it's interesting that they're all three this year. I guess I didn't realize that. And of course, don't forget if you want a little slasher in your life, for the third year in a row, we have Friday the 13th. This would be part three. They're
I
just
saw
banging.
that and thought of you, Steve.
What's that?
I saw that and thought of you. I'm like, Steve's going to want to bring up this.
Well, you got to. It's we've had one in 80, 81, now 82. Like they're
Yeah.
just like knocking them out, I'm telling you. So everybody listening and watching should be now also on Friday the 13th part 3 because we specifically said you had to watch 1 and 2.
Um, Here's one. We talked about Days of Confused last week. This is similar. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh man. That's like the original Dazed and Confused, right?
Yeah. Conan the Barbarian.
Right. Well, I mean, Blade Runner,
Yes.
that's top. That's one of the top rated. But Tron, man, I never really understood it as a kid, but I watched it.
Well, you had to go to the arcade and play the Tron cycles too.
Oh yeah, no, that was the best part. And then you thought you liked the movie because you played the video game, and then you watched the movie, you're like, I don't understand what's happening.
Here's a little tidbit about Tron. Ram, one of the characters, he plays Billy the Kid in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh right, yeah,
Steve, now we're gonna go back to the 90s when we were playing video games and watching Up All Night.
oh yeah.
And
This is
dang,
got to be the best, right?
yes, Wilford Brimley, Kurt Russell, the Thing.
And of course, it's Kurt Russell, so you love it.
Yes.
But it was the best when I mean I had watched a lot of movies at that point, but I and neither of us could made the connection of Wilford Brimley.
Because we were talking about what were we talking about oatmeal?
Oatmeal, right? We're like
Yes.
we made him Wilford Brimley, not knowing he was Wilford Brimley. So, but it's really good movie though.
Yeah, it was weird to be on the Up All Night when the other movies we were watching were like insanely bad.
Oh yeah, the yeah we've talked about some of those ones already before, but yeah, this was one that yeah you wouldn't normally see this as a USA Up All Night, and if people probably don't know what that is, but I hope people are actually listening that knows what USA Up All Night is because it's just different, right? Like we knew all those things because we didn't have every access to everything streaming and all this stuff.
Well, and that was the thing. What was good about that is like we would never have sought out these movies that were on this, and they were like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess we'll watch this."
Yeah, because you didn't have to change the channel.
Yeah. Um, Now to a totally different movie. There's Annie.
Annie, you know, long and not that exciting. Let's see. There was one I was just gonna. Oh, Officer and a Gentleman.
Yeah.
This is actually a good movie. I think Richard Gere doesn't get enough credit.
And Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah, I mean, I love him in that movie. But he just fits the part like super well.
Yeah.
He could have just stood there and you'd have been like, "Yep, that's him." He wouldn't have to say a word the whole movie. You'd have been like, "What an incredible acting job of portraying your character."
This one, when I used to play all the time, the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. This was one of the movies that was easiest to branch out from, and that was the movie Diner.
Diner, huh?
You never seen Diner? Kevin Bacon, Mickey Rourke, Steve Guttenberg, Paul Reiser, Tim Daly, Daniel Stern, Ellen Barkin.
I mean, I haven't seen it recently, so that might be have to be added to the list. Here, hang on. Oh, yes, I have seen this. But man, that's old school.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll add that one to the list. So if you're also listening, we might have to put that in the in our wrap up here with when we get to the three must watches. Maybe I'll have to include
Is
that one.
that going to be the movie of the week next week?
It might be. Well, you're on movie of the week next week, so
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be
true.
good.
Um, and just because I'm a Steve Martin mark, there's The Dead Man Don't Wear Plaid.
Yeah, but you gotta love Steve Martin. Come on,
Yeah.
who doesn't? Like, if you really love movies, you know Steve Martin's great.
Another black and white movie.
Yeah, you remember the Beastmaster?
Yeah.
That was a cool little, the fantasy type movie.
Hmm.
I used to like
Well,
that
it
one.
fit like you had that and Conan at the same time, and
Oh yeah. Well, I watched a lot of Conan and specifically Conan the Barbarian.
right. It's better than Destroyer.
Oh yeah, it's not even close, dude. I
Is
probably
so Wilt is in Destroyer, right?
is it not in both of them?
Is he in Barbarian?
Oh no, it's James Earl Jones.
The villain. And yeah. I think
No, he's not in. Wilt's not in this one.
yeah, so he's in the second one. He's in
Right.
Destroyer. Um
But when you said Wilt, I pictured James Earl Jones in my head from the movie.
okay, so the second one then does that have so that's with Bridget Nielsen and you got the guy that's the thief. And it's almost like a Dungeons and Dragons movie in a way.
Right. That's probably why it was so good.
Did you know, and this is something, Oliver Stone helped write Conan the Barbarian.
I never knew that. But I'm going to tell you, like I said, I probably watched it 100 times because it was on one of those after the next movie ones.
Right, because it was in your
Yeah.
taped three.
So if people don't know what that means, it means you have a VHS tape. If you don't know what that means, it's a DVD. If you know what that means, then you're probably not watching. But we had the three movies on the one tape, and it was just a pain when the second movie, was like Conan the Barbarian. So you just watched it to get to the third movie. So you just really wanted to watch the first and the third, but you still watched the middle one.
Because you're too lazy to get up and press fast forward on the VCR.
Right. You had to walk all the way over there and push. And then sometimes when you had the really good VCRs, that were used and from the Goodwill, the fast forward button, you had to hold it down. And so you had to hold it the whole time while it's fast forwarding, not very
Yeah.
fast. So yeah, that you just watched the movie at that point. Let's see.
Some Academy Award stuff. We had Gandhi.
Was that this year or was that the previous year?
I thought Gandhi. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, because that yeah, this was we talked about this last time. I think
Yeah, Gandhi is 82
but these are made in 82 though, so we'd be looking at 83, right?
for like the Academy Awards. Yeah.
Right.
Um, and then another one with Tootsie.
Yeah, Tootsie's definitely on there. That's a really high rated movie. I don't know. I don't think that was one that I watched a bunch as a kid. That was something I've seen like on TV, but never the movie.
Right. I mean, when we're kids, we don't realize, but I mean, it's got Bill Murray in it.
Right. What do you think of Blade Runner?
I mean, I like Blade Runner, but I think it's a little overhyped.
Yeah, it's like that. It's rated really high.
Yeah.
I wasn't that a huge fan. I mentioned it earlier because it was rated so high. But
Well,
it's
didn't we do a review a long time ago on Blade Runner 2049?
right. That one was real popular. Actually, that was a good movie.
I think with Blade Runner, it was just ahead of its time, and that's
Yeah.
why now it gets so much love because it didn't get so much love back then.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It was definitely ahead of its time. Oh yeah, there's Gandhi running 3 hours and 11 minutes. Jeez,
Good thing Wes is in here. You give him ideas.
that would be our next movie of the week. Grease 2. All right, well, let's get them think about it for a second. Give them our top three here. So I'm gonna put Diner in there just because I'm gonna watch it too. So I'm gonna tell all our audience Diner is one of the top three, but you're not gonna be disappointed. So I'm putting Diner in there.
Well, I gotta, stick with Kurt Russell. I gotta do the thing.
The thing.
Everyone should watch the thing.
You know how many people probably haven't seen the movie The Thing?
It's so good. I mean, Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley, and then Keith David.
And it's got it all, right? It's got a little bit
Yeah.
of mystery within the
hmm And then I like the prequel that came out later with what is her name?
what was that one called?
Oh, it's still called The Thing, but with Ewan McGregor's now, I think, wife. What's her name? Elizabeth Winstead. Like when I first was seeing previously, like, oh great, they're remaking The Thing. And
Oh yeah,
then you find out, no, no, wait, it's the prequel because it ends with the beginning of The Thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have seen this one. This one's good. 2011.
Yeah.
So yeah, The Thing is good. So now I'll put it on my list because we're unanimous in that. You got to watch if you're checking out movies from 1982, you got to watch The Thing. All right. Well, so I'm having trouble deciding here, but I have to really go back to 48 hours. Now, understand this is not for the children.
How many
So
times the F word is said?
making this disclaimer right now. parental guidance strongly suggested. The movie's rated R, so if most parents aren't going to let their kids watch it, but parents listening, you should be watching this. It's so good because it's a good time, I think, for Nick Nolte in his career, and Eddie Murphy's just always funny, or
Right. And
used
this
to
is
be
Eddie
always
Murphy
funny.
Rising. This is like his first big thing.
Yeah, yeah, he's breaking out, but to me, I've always loved him from the beginning, right? So until recently, I'm not as big of an Eddie Murphy fan, but he's got the nostalgia, so I'll stick with him. But regardless, 48 Hours is good, and then you can watch maybe the another 48 Hours.
Yeah. Which is good too.
Right.
I'm in a tough spot here because there's like four like really important movies, and we're only going to be able to pick, well, if you pick one of them, three of them. So, but I'm going to go because you have to pick this one. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, man. And given that we just talked about Dazed and Confused last week, I mean, now I have to watch it too. So, all the listeners that are going to watch it, I'm going to watch it with you because it's just that good. And it's
You're
only an
watching.
hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it launched so many careers.
Just the cast in general, how many people are in it is insane. For that time, like you have to be an 80s movie watcher to get it, but you know what I mean. All right, that's a good one. I don't know that I was going to pick that one, so I'm glad you did because now I'm going to watch it. All right. Well, just because it's very nostalgic to me, and I think it's a good movie, and I guarantee a lot of people haven't seen it. I'm putting in An Officer and a Gentleman. Richard Gere and Deborah Winger, David Keith, Louis Gossett Jr. or Lou Gossett Jr., however you want to pronounce it. Uh, what a great movie. But I just like those military style movies though. And this is definitely an 80s one. So I got to put it in there. Officer and Gentleman.
Put me in a hard spot here, but I'm gonna pick this one because it's a standalone and you don't have to watch any other movies to go for it. So I mean, honestly, you got to go E.T.
Yeah. It would be
It's
hard to
between
recommend movies from 1982 and not put ET in there.
it was between E.T. and Wrath of Khan, but I'm like, I don't want to have it where like if you're not into Star Trek,
Right. But you want aliens.
yeah,
We got you covered.
and you have to have a kids movie now because you got 48 hours that the kids can't watch, so you need something that they can watch.
You're like, hey, you guys go watch ET. We're going to watch 48 Hours. And then you're having 1982 movie night as a family. All right. So I'll give my three, give you a three. So I got Diner, I got Officer and Gentleman, and I got 48 Hours. So those are the three that you're going to watch from 1982.
And I've got The Thing, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and E.T.
Man, you got a good list. I don't think anybody would be disappointed at any time if they watched those three movies. I was like, man, that the Big Smooth really let me down.
No, that's not happening here.
Yeah, that's a good list. Mine is more movies I don't think people have seen a lot of. So I'm hoping to open up, expand some minds.
Well, if we got any Gen Zers, and they probably haven't seen any of these movies.
So, I mean, that's an interesting topic. Since we're gonna hold off on MOW this week, let's talk about that for a second. So kids have always liked older stuff, right? Like I hear my kid talk singing old songs, and I'm like, how do you even know that song? 80s songs and things like that, and talking about 80s movies. And I know they get a lot of it from clips and things they see on YouTube and things like that, but the songs I know they're listening to. Because even, us or a generation between me and my kids, they all like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the music going forward. So it makes sense that they would like the movies too, right?
Well, that's the thing. I think what happens is when we were kids, we were latchkey kids, but it was also one of those where if you weren't outside, you were just watching TV. And you could flip through the stations like, they don't do that anymore. You can't turn the TV on and have Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Right. Or like Lost in Time or Lost in Space or Adam's Family or anything from like the 50s that like, you know, um I Love Lucy, I Dream of Jeannie, My Three Sons, all these shows that were like from the 50s and 60s, but we were watching in the 80s. Nowadays, you don't have, I mean, I guess it's the early 2000s or so, but you don't see a bunch of those shows on TV anymore. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you gotta search for that kind of stuff now because the only TV they're really watching is network, if they're watching that at all.
Right.
And network's definitely not playing that old stuff anymore. There's those channels you get where if you get like an antenna and it picks up like 700 like random channels, you can go on those and watch some of the old stuff.
Right, like Nick at Night. I know like Grayson's watched all the Addams Family, like the black and white with
Right.
like
Yeah. Well, even just I don't know. I mean, channel like 32.4. I don't know what that
right,
is, but it's like playing old like Matlock.
right.
So I guess there's a little bit of access, but you're right. Like that was more in your face where it's you turn on TV, that was what was available. Where now they got to actively go out and search for that.
Well, and then I was thinking this too, like I get irritated. Basically, Grayson controls the remote. So we're watching his shows at night, but when we were kids, we were watching our parents' shows.
Yeah, that's not a Grayson problem.
I know. But I think that's what our generation now like lets their kids watch like
Right, right.
their shows.
Because we don't care anymore about anything. Our parents were like, "No, give me that remote." We're like, "Yeah, I just don't care."
Right.
You're like,
Well,
just take the TV too. I don't even care. Get out.
it's like I'm like, well, you can watch that. I'm gonna watch my game on my phone.
Yeah, well, we obviously know we didn't have smartphones hanging around, and
Yeah.
but it's still interesting. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that I think they will like this stuff if they give it a chance or are given the chance or watching more importantly the right ones.
Well, I even went back and some stuff that when I was a kid, like the 10 o'clock shows, right? Like I watched all the St. Elsewheres because when I was a kid, it's like it's time for bed. You can't watch St. Elsewhere.
Right.
Or what's the thing now is like when you hear the MASH theme song, it's time for bed.
Right. That's so funny. Oh man. There was quite a few shows like that though that kind of signified. And don't forget when it asked the parents, "Do you know where your child is?" at 10 o'clock. That was kind
Right.
of a signifier. It was bedtime. Oh, how horrible was that? Not just to get back into the old, old head Gen Z, Gen X stuff though, but that's kind of funny. But you're right in the sense that I think and there are channels I've noticed this, but who has cable anymore?
Right.
But DirecTV, I guess maybe if you're using like a streaming app, you can get
You would
just
have to purposely be like, I want to watch this show and then search for where you can watch it.
right. It's easier to just do it that way because even then, like if you're trying to search through channels, you're never going to see what you want to see, and the chances are you're like, oh, I'm going to watch, Turner Classic Movies. You're not going to get a good one. You're not going to get like, you know, a la Josie Wales or something. It's like you're going to end up with one weird, like bad Western, and they're going to be like, I'm never watching this again.
Well, no, I think for us, like I would even flip through the channels and you'd be like, oh, the Brady Bunch is on. I don't want to watch the Brady Bunch, but nothing else is on, so I guess I'll watch the Brady Bunch.
Limited options.
Right. And it's like, so I've seen probably all the Brady Bunches, right? You probably have too.
Oh, yeah, at least twice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, contrary to other people's beliefs, Brady Bunch is an incredible show.
Until what's his name? Oliver shows up.
So, I don't know why everybody hates Oliver. I love Oliver. I
Uh,
just love the show because there's nothing wrong with all the family values lessons and all the stuff they go through. There's nothing wrong with learning all that as a kid. And they did a pretty good job, the Brady Bunch did, of when you look back at some of the stuff that they did as an adult and watch it, you're like, wow, that was pretty forward thinking about like how to message to children. So it's a good show.
and then you had like Gilligan's Island.
Man, maybe maybe we're over nostalgizing this, if that's a word. I don't think it is, but we'll call it one. That we think these are better than they really are.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I mean, I've watched shows, but everything's a hospital or a special victims unit or a court case or a.
Reality.
I mean, there's a lot of reality too. I just never have been able to watch reality though.
No. Yeah,
But
like we watch, and it's more like, you got to take it with a grain of salt because now we have like network TV shows can't do as much as now. Like, I'm like, oh, you know, like how great ER was, and then you got the Pit that can do all so much more
yeah,
because it's on HBO. But like we watch like the FBI show, and we're like, we know it's kind of like there's some stuff that's like, okay, whatever. Or we watched The Rookie, and that's just because it's Nathan Fillion. But we're like, dude, how are you guys getting involved? You're like, you're the LAPD. Why are you going to like Mexico and stuff and helping out a drug enforcement agency? And like, this isn't realistic at all. But it's like, it's just entertainment.
that's the writing. And there was shows like that though, but a lot of the stuff was those the family type show, Family Ties, Growing Pains,
Who's the boss?
yeah. So
Yeah.
and then I guess Law and Order starts that whole change.
Well, I think it started with Homicide, Life on the Streets, which then became they just started doing Law and Order.
Right.
And
But I meant Law and Order as like the type, that type.
yeah.
They made that type real popular, and then now you've got all the types, right? You got fire, and you got the
Well,
court.
I mean, if you think about it, it started with Hill Street Blues.
Oh yeah, I mean,
And then you had NYPD Blue
well, there was you could go
and
back
LA Law. LA
'60s,
Law.
and there it just feels like there was a change from more of those, I guess, wholesome family shows. I
Right.
should call them. But that's just my opinion. It probably isn't true, but
Well, like right now, you mean like sitcoms, basically.
yeah,
So like right now, the only sitcom we watch is Abbott Elementary, which is good because Caitlin being a teacher, she'd be like, yeah, that's true. She like pull. It's like, yeah. So it's funny to us because she knows like this is like, oh, that is funny because it's true. But yeah, there is no like, yeah, even stuff like Alf,
Yeah,
or
Alpha's great.
right, and then rest in peace, Ann Sheedon, who's from Gresham, Oregon. She was the mom on Alf.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then like um, what like Silver Spoons, Benson.
Oh,
Stuff
Benson's
like
good. Different
yeah, I mean,
Strokes. That was good.
Facts of Life,
Back to Life. Awesome. Man.
Different Strokes.
Yeah, I just said that one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
No, there is a lot of good ones there, but movie wise, it's a little different versus the shows, right?
Right.
Because you could go through a lot of these movies in 1982 and not be a big fan of 80s movies
Mhm.
if you start looking through those. But if they stick to the ones that we recommended, we can make them 80s fans.
Yep. I agree.
That's the new goal. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there with podcast HSC Podcast Movies. We really want to get some more interaction for our movie of the week. So leave a comment in there. And then, if we can get the clipped right, we can get a short saying, leave a comment on the movie. We need a movie of the week. We need help.
Nothing over 3 hours.
All right. Well, Wes will take care of that. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.